Welcome to the Crystal Starnes Show with your host, Crystal Starnes. Today we have two fabulous guests that are coming on the show, and they are both singers, songwriters, and musicians, and their name is Joey and Doreen Arminio. So let's welcome Joey and Doreen to the show. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Crystal. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for having us.
Oh, you're welcome. So I'm excited to have both of you on the show. I have watched a lot of your videos, and you both are a great team. I love your music, and I love your voices, and you play the saxophone really well, Joey. I'm just really excited and honored to have you on the show today. I guess let's just start by telling the audience a little bit about who you are and your background. Whoever wants to start first.
You go first.
Well, I've been in the business for 43 years. I started in 1980, and we dedicated ourselves to keeping the oldies alive. We've done a lot of different styles over the years, from Broadway to Asbury Park rock and roll, but we consistently stayed with the 50s, 60s, and early 70s music, and dedicated to just keeping it going for the new audiences.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
How about you, Doreen?
Well, we've been performing together for what is it,
23 years,
23 years.
24 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And
Who are you?
who am I?
No.
And again, we're just enjoying this genre of music. It's so there's such a cult following for it, and it's a specific audience, and they've been so good to us over the years that we just we love giving it back to them. They give it back to us. I started out as a classical dancer, and my first singing was when I met Joe. I answered an ad, and they used to put them in newspapers back then. I answered an ad.
The East Coast Rocker and the
Yeah.
Aquarian and all those fun papers.
And I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I wanted to try singing, and I did, and we've been together ever since.
That's awesome.
When she came into audition, her voice was so perfect. We went through 22 singers, and a lot of them were very rock style and very edgy, jean t-shirt type sound. When she came in, I'm like, well, you're gonna have to dress up, you're gonna have to, do like the oldies thing. And her closet of clothing matched my closet of clothing. We had like so much stuff that was like their boas and whatever the heck it was. No, I didn't. You had them. But leather jackets, whatever it was, like the Grease type stuff. But her voice was so perfect. And when I heard her sing, I'm like, you're like Ronnie Spector, you're like, the crystals, that whole sound. And she had a Frankie Lyman sound. So we utilized that, with our music. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is amazing,
Yeah, you have an amazing voice, Doreen.
Thank you so
You
much.
do, seriously. No,
Thank you for
yeah.
listening.
I truly mean that. Like, I just think that your voice is like, I think you could be really big. I mean, I think you both are already big time, but like you almost remind me of like Judy Garland. I don't know if you ever idolized her, but I just thought she had an amazing voice, and you remind me a little bit of her.
Oh, thank you. She's the
Oh,
best.
oh, you're welcome. No, you do. You like the voice, it's just, and we need that, nowadays. I mean, I think we should try to bring it all back, like from the singers from years ago.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, we're trying to do that.
Yeah, I would love
Keep it
that
going.
because I miss all that. Like I like to listen to older music, and I loved the singers back then, and so it just reminded me of her, So
There's a
I always
quality.
liked her. So
There's a quality and
Me
a
too.
sound that makes you feel, it's a feel good, uplifting sound back
Mhm.
then, opposed to the darkness of the stuff that's going on now. So it's an
Right.
easy thing. I think the human body just receives that in a positive or negative way, and it doesn't even know it. You know what I mean?
Right, right. No, I totally agree. So I guess maybe you want to talk about the new album that you have out, or it's coming out soon. Is it the
We just finished.
Saxman?
Yeah, we just finished it. It's probably going to come out backwards, but we have this
Show them the first one first, so they don't.
Yeah, well, this is the older
This was
one.
the old one that was released
Say
in
that.
2019.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
us. Yeah, and then this one we just finished, and we called it. It's called "Feel Good Music from a Simpler Time." Joe says that in one of the songs. He's bantering with Vinnie Modugno, and I said that's the name of the album because all these tracks are really they make you feel, they make you feel good, and they're about love and things like that. And there's 27 songs on here.
One of the songs Vinnie Modugno did with us at our recording. We have an Arminio recording studio, and Vinnie Modugno came down and recorded Bobby Rydell's "Cha Cha Cha" with us.
Oh, wow.
It's so good. It's so fun, and we even got a little picture of Vinnie on the back.
Aw.
Cute.
But we got this cartoon made up of us. It's like kind of violent. Stiletto and the sax man, like I'm hitting someone with a stiletto, and he's like,
It's my superhero
it's
alter
our
ego.
superhero
Right.
alter egos, which is so funny because the album is so opposite of that.
Yeah. And there's a disclaimer. Read the disclaimer.
Last song. I said,
This is a lot of fun.
I said, no one has been injured by a stiletto or a saxophone during the creation of this CD. The music is intended to make your heart melt and your body sway. Sing and dance along. With love, Joey and Doreen Arminio.
I like it. I like the picture too. I thought it was pretty cool. It's an eye catcher, especially in today's time, a lot of the superhero stuff, and
Yep.
that was a
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah, a friend of mine was he's a cartoonist, for a big cartoonist. He does like movies and tops, and he did that for us. So
We're waiting for a comic book to come out. Stiletto.
Yeah,
That's
that'll
another
be
thing.
next.
Yeah, in our book, we talk all about all this stuff. It's great.
Yeah, talk a little bit about your book that you come out with or coming out.
First of all, the book is heavy. It's
Oh, wow.
it's 79 pages, something like that, and it's heavy. But there's the cover. My brother did the cover. It's called 0 to 60, and it's all about his life up until 60. And Joe turned 60 during the pandemic, so we were going to stop on his 60th birthday, but we said, you know what, we gotta document this.
It. So we
Yeah.
document all the major
kept going.
things: the Kennedy assassination, the 9/11, Sandy. Everything's documented from our eyes, and it's pretty interesting because even the parts that are just like, I tell a lot of stories. I talk about the music business, all the people we met. I mean, we have
There's
on the-
1,500 pictures in
if you
here
hand me
too.
the book, on the back of the book, there's Vito. I think it was Tommy Patillo and Vito Pacone. They use it as to stop people from breaking in their home. But anyway, there's all the different people wrote on the back of the book of who we are affiliated and we've worked together, and it's really cool. Gary U.S. Bonds, we got Tommy Patillo, Vito Pacone. Everybody's in here. It just goes on and on.
It's a nice tribute to the time, the whole era, our section of the world and our genre of music. And it's
I
just
call it a moment in time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just includes everybody that we had, really almost everybody we met up until then.
And family, grandchildren. I don't think I missed anything. Thinking back now, I took a lot of time to enclose myself in like a dark place with a candle, and went back to those specific times to remember as close as I could the detail, and it's really detailed,
Yeah, it looks like a very thick book. So where can we find that book if we want to get it?
Well, if you go on our website, you can order it, and it goes to a third party company. We don't have the books here, so they print it to order.
Okay.
And then you can get a hardcover, you can get a soft cover. So it's on our website at arminioentertainment.com.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
So they just click on 0 to 60 and they can just order the book or our CDs and things like that.
Okay. So everything can be found on your website then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
And then you're coming out with a TV show too. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we got a Roku channel and an Amazon, what is it?
Fire Stick, yeah.
channel.
So we got the channel about a year ago, and we were getting started on it, and then we had a family crisis with my uncle, who we've taken care of for years. He was 93. In fact, he's he contributed to our book, and he passed away. So it was a very time thing, but now we're getting back on track, and what we're trying to do is a variety show type thing. We're trying to do
The old time
the
show,
old
like,
time show, like you were just saying, like we're gonna talk Sonny and Cher, D. Martin Variety, Tony Orlando, who's a good friend, and I think things like, that kind of thing, we're gonna get into it, and we're gonna have writers and producers, all that stuff.
Mhm.
So it just took time. Everything takes time when you're
It
doing it
does.
yourself.
Yeah,
Right.
we started the idea during the COVID pandemic, when we were doing our kitchen concerts, and we were getting so many people coming into our home as we performed for them, and
Not physically, but online.
yeah, online.
Yeah, we had like 50,000
They were
people
like,
at one time.
when are you coming back? When are you going on? We so we got so close to all these people, and we wanted to expand on that and maybe do something a little more structured, and have some guests and things like that. So we have it in our head, but it's not out yet. We're working on it.
Working on it. The channel's there, and it has about 30 videos up already. So if anybody has Roku or Fire Stick, you can go there and watch all our videos, and everything's there. But something really cool, though, a little secret, I think we're going to do before we leave our home. No, before we leave our home and move, we're moving. We may do one last kitchen concert in honor of Verona and our home and everything. So
that's cool. That's awesome. So I guess who inspired you to get into music? Like, you started as a dancer, correct, Doreen?
Yeah.
So did you ever have any role models that inspired you to get into that?
No, dance for me I started at really, really young age, and it took me a really long time to get any good at it. I got my degree in classical dance, but it wasn't a natural thing. I lived in a family of, a lot of boys, and they were all doing sports. So I went to dance, and it was, I loved it so much. And I just loved performing, so much more than even just, the technical grueling part of it. I just love being on stage. When I moved out of New York to New Jersey, there wasn't a lot of opportunities for, classical dancer, adults, mostly for kids. So I was like, I started doing some plays, and they were like, you got to sing. And I knew I could sing because I loved singing. I sang in my room as a child my whole life. I just used to try to emulate different artists. I used to sit in the room with Barbra Streisand and, whatever albums we had, I would just try to, sound just like it. And then you get a phone call.
Yeah.
And then there wasn't a lot of dance opportunities. So I said, let me join, see if there's a band, and see if I could join a band. And then I found them, and that was the end of it.
She does her first band and last band. She stayed with it, and she wanted the business. I retired about 8 years ago. She took over the business. Now I'm just, long-haired hippie kind of guy.
That's funny. So you play the saxophone, correct?
Yes.
And then what started you in playing the saxophone or got you involved in music?
Well, I started, my family was so supportive getting me involved. I started with trumpet at 3rd grade, and I had a lot of, support from the family, which is so important for children when they're learning instruments. And then Elvis Presley was my first influence. Everybody wanted to be Elvis. So in our shows, I highlight the Elvis thing, and in the book, of course. And then as I got older, I started playing, guitar, percussion. That saxophone came in the 80s. Once I started playing the saxophone, I was involved in the whole Bruce Springsteen Asbury Park movement. And Eddie Testa from the Eddie Testa band, he actually was my first, the person who gave me the reason to do what I do today. He's a legend on the Jersey Shore and Southern Jersey place.
So talented.
And he's so talented. And the saxophone, the Clarence Clemens is a big influence. Boots Randolph, guys like Gato Barbieri. Those guys were like big influences.
King Curtis.
And King Curtis, yeah. So this is what I got into the saxophone. So I got into, every time I was into something, I went into it wholeheartedly. And then once I got it down, I went to something else. So I could
That's
do
men though. I feel like men are like that, aren't they?
Mhm.
all my
Yeah.
hobbies.
He has
They
so
are.
many hobbies. My latest one is like, I'm learning to play the trumpet. So I've been incorporating that into the act. And I just play what I know. But it's
Right.
been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, when I was younger, my dad played the saxophone, and then he got me to play the saxophone in school. So I was in the high school band. I was real short too, so I used to carry around this case, with the saxophone, and then I also played piano. But so I mean, I give you a lot of credit for sticking it out and everything, because it's a hard instrument.
It is. It's very hard.
Very hard. So, I mean, I don't think I could play it now. I mean, that was years ago, but because I didn't keep up with it, but I at least did it in high school.
Yeah. What did you play? Like an alto or a tenor?
I think it was an alto, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my dad wanted me to play because he played it in school, and I'm glad that I had the experience with it. It was just always hard to carry that case around, though. It was so big.
Well, I get it because I'm small too. And when I first started, my first instrument I wanted to play was the guitar.
Mhm.
And I was so dangerous with the
She
guitar.
was dangerous.
I'm in my high heels and I'm on stage and I got this huge guitar
I'd have to duck.
and I would just turn around and hit people and knock people out. It was so hard, physically
Right.
hard. And then what did I do next? Oh, then I was playing a little bit piano, but I was like, I like to run around on stage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He said, why don't you try the trumpet? It's small. There's only 3 buttons. You don't need a reed. So I said, okay, I'll try that. And I stuck with
And
it.
she stuck with it, and it's great for her. And
Right.
she can run around on stage. We do a little
Yeah.
skit thing.
Light,
Yeah.
Right.
That's the thing. Everybody would like, hey, jump in, play some guitar or play keyboards or whatever they wanted me to do. But I couldn't be confined to like the chord patterns over and over and over in the back. I liked running around, laying on my back, running into the audience. You can't do that with a guitar and keyboard. You could, but
Right.
not
It'd
as
be too
easy.
hard. Yeah, I get it.
We're
I
into-
always wanted to play the flute, but my dad never, he's like, you're playing the saxophone. If you want to be in it, you can do that. I'm like, okay.
I love that. I love that you did that, And it's funny because I get this whole thing about, oh wow, a female trumpet player. I don't believe it. Like really, why?
Yeah, really.
I always say the hardest part about being a female horn player is playing the horn. It's nothing to do with being a female. But people they're just so shocked.
They say to her, are you really playing?
Oh, always.
I'm like,
Sometimes.
I'm really playing. Why isn't she?
Right. Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else that you want to tell the audience? Maybe where they can find you. You already gave your website, but you could give it again. And anything you just want to, like when you're going to be touring again or any events coming up?
Oh, yeah. We're so excited. We're going to Austria in September with Freddie Vilas and the Silvertones. Freddie called us to do this show. Mellow Kings are going to be there. And we're just going for one show. It's like a 1-hour show. But we're really excited. I've never been to Europe. And his band is going to be backing us up. So they're learning like a whole set of our songs, vocally backing us up and musically. So
That's pretty cool.
They're amazing. And what was I going to say? I forgot. I forgot what I was going to say.
We're on tour.
So no, I was going to talk a little bit about
Austria.
That's all right.
Okay.
That's all right.
Well, we're going for like 7 days. It's my first time out of the country, so it's kind of exciting.
Mhm.
And another thing about the UK, it's so weird.
Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. Who else is going to be on the show is the Firebirds. And there's a song that Joe wrote back in 1980 called Joanne. It's a real fun oldies song. And I found out about 5 years ago that a group in the UK had re-recorded it. I saw them on YouTube and I was kind of mad at first. I'm like,
Yeah, I didn't know.
Song, how dare you? So he got in touch and they became close. They became friends. Matter of fact, he's recording on their album now.
Right, I'm doing an album
He's
with
doing
them clear
saxophone.
across the water. I'm doing it in my studio, which is Arminio Studios. He sent me his tracks. I'm
That's
recording the
great.
sax, sending it back to him, to them.
And they're going to be in Austria on the show with us. So we're all going to do the song Joanne together, which is going to be really fun.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. It's
I know.
crazy
And there-
small world.
Yeah.
It is. It's weird how like we all can connect now around the world,
Isn't that
just
great?
by, video. It
Yeah.
is.
Amazing.
I feel like this,
Yeah.
I don't know, were you doing Zoom interviews before COVID or did you just? Was
No,
that
I
something-
just started doing it last year. I
Oh,
just
okay.
started doing the
Okay.
podcasting and everything last year. So
Welcome.
That's
yeah,
amazing.
thanks.
It looks great. I love how you have the background behind you. It looks really nice.
Thank you. I did everything, like I researched everything on my own and figured out how to do it, and I just now here I am. So
That's great. I'm so glad you asked us to be with you
Yeah.
today. It's awesome. Oh, I want to mention, and right after we get back from Austria, we're going to be going on tour with White Star tour groups, and we're going to be traveling all over the East Coast from Florida, from Georgia to Chicago,
Go to Nashville. We start in
Nashville. We'll be doing that. And all summer, we'll be working with a group called the Cameos, which I call our brother group, which we work
Okay.
with them. She sings and I play sax with them.
It's a 9-piece doo-wop group. Best
Doo-wop.
doo-wop group. They're so good.
So we're pretty busy. We're crazy busy. And the last thing I'd like to mention, not that I talk a lot, but no, I'm kidding. The last thing
You
I'd like
didn't let me talk today.
you let me talk. The last thing I'd like to mention is Arminio Studios. We have about 4 people in line waiting to book time with me. And we're excited. We released some really great original stuff and stuff for other people. You can see that online. You go on YouTube, you could type Arminio Studios or the name of the artist or us. And that's going to be, anybody needs a recording and they're from the Jersey area, please, or Pennsylvania, New York, Delaware, please reach out to me and let's talk. And that's about it. Anything else?
You can find our schedule on our website. It's Arminio Entertainment. So Arminio is spelled with all I's, no E.
Right.
Arminio
Yeah.
Entertainment.
I
And,
marked out, I put glasses over my eyes, so that's how I
that's your
remember.
signature. And you can see our whole calendar where we're going to be. There's a few of the kitchen concerts are on there in their entirety. What else? The book, the CDs.
Radio interviews are on there.
Yeah.
All the COVID, everything we've done on COVID is all online. So you can see our kitchen concerts there, the old ones.
And if you send, if I don't know
And
if we
interviews.
can put this on, when we can put it on our website.
Yeah, we'll share this with everyone.
Okay. Well, thank you again for coming on the show. I loved having you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you, and
Pleasure to meet you too. And thank you everyone out there for watching. Until next time, everyone take care.
Bye-bye.
take care. Bye bye.
Bye.